Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. This is Deb from RI Elder Info, and I welcome you all today. It's a beautiful Friday morning in the autumn in October. I am happy to have an individual here who is meeting a specific need in these times of COVID. Super excited. For those of you who are just joining me for the first time, welcome. I hope you share and hit like and follow so that you won't miss any really important information what's going on here in Rhode Island. RI Elder Info is one of the most comprehensive resources for seniors, caregivers, and professionals in Rhode Island. Our mission is to get information out to help empower aging, whatever that might be for individuals and our community. And what I do here with our Friday Friends program is I bring on different nonprofits and people doing some really amazing things out there that people need to know about and engage with. And it's an opportunity to help them get their word out and do better for the community. So for today, I would like to bring up Evan from Cartwheel. Welcome, Evan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. So I first read about Cartwheel in the Providence Business News and thought, wow, that's a great program. So if you'll share with our viewers who you are and what you do with Cartwheel.
Sure. So with Cartwheel, we're a grocery delivery nonprofit. So we offer delivery of local produce and then some wholesale goods, peanut butter, rice, dry beans, and we offer that to folks in the Providence area.
Awesome. So do you just go to the grocery store that people want? Are you like a shopping service, or do you work with particular organizations? How's that work for you?
Right. So we source most of our produce through Farm Fresh Rhode Island, where they're a local farm aggregator. So they get most of their goods from farms in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and then they deliver to us, and we sort and package everything up, and then send it out to the people who've submitted orders through Cartwheel.
Wow. Okay. So it's all local food, and that's great to support the local economy. That's really important these days, and to support our local farmers.
Right.
Do you have to buy in bulk? Is there like a minimum order or anything like that?
So there's no minimum order, whereas some of these other kind of ordering websites do have minimum orders. This is really, we're trying to break down the larger volumes to individual sizes or small household sizes.
That's really important because, a lot of times we are living alone, or it's just, maybe two of us in the house. And
yeah,
I love strawberries, but I can't eat 5 pounds of them.
Exactly.
So that's great that you're able to make it more reasonable, in a reasonable size package. Right. So where do you perform your services? Where do you deliver to? What are your locations?
So the two kind of limits that we have are, one is a geographic limit where we say, we just got started in March. We're really a COVID response. So we're saying folks who are in the Providence area, it's ideal if we deliver primarily to folks, in Providence or just across the line in Cranston or just across the line in Pawtucket or wherever it might be. But that's the geographic limit. And then the other limit is that our ordering platform is online. So we say, if you have access to the internet and can go through the form, that's awesome. Or maybe you have a friend, or maybe you have a family member who can do that remotely. But yeah, those are the two areas that people sometimes get a little stuck on. But it works out. Yeah.
That's good. So they can go right online, order online. And your delivery drivers tell me what they do to keep people safe in the age of COVID.
Right. So it's everything that the CDC recommends. We stay very up to date on that. So we masks and gloves, and then everything is contactless. So we drop off the order either at the door or wherever we've been told to drop it off by the client, and then all the payment, it happens online or through a contactless SNAP swipe system for folks who have EBT.
So I want to talk a little bit more about that, because that's one of those things, individuals who receive SNAP, sometimes referred to as food stamps, going online, purchasing items online has been a barrier in the past where you couldn't
Right.
use your SNAP benefits online. So explain how using SNAP benefits would work with your program.
Right. So how it works is we buy the food and then we have a mobile point of sale. So we come and we make arrangements so that we don't have a face-to-face interaction, but we do still swipe your card as the regulations require. Um, but it's true for people who are recipients of SNAP, of food stamps, it's very difficult to have delivery. So this is one option that people living in Rhode Island can have food delivered to their house and then pay for it using SNAP. The other thing that we can offer is that we have a matching grant so that everything, all produce in Cartwheel orders that is paid for with SNAP is 50% off.
Wow, that's great
And
because
that's the bonus bucks program through Farm Fresh Rhode Island. So we're very appreciative of having access to it. And it's a wonderful service we can offer.
that really is, because I know, for instance, transportation to the grocery store can be
Right,
very challenging, particularly for our older adults.
right.
And then some of the barriers that I've heard to obtaining, fresh fruits and vegetables are, I can only carry but so many bags with me.
Right,
And when I'm on the bus and then getting in and out of my house, or in the
right,
cab, and that becomes a real barrier for folks to be able to eat healthfully. And
right,
that's such a key part of remaining healthy.
right.
And with the winter coming, then that becomes even a greater barrier of being able to get out
Right.
to get the food. And
Ice, yeah. So many
exactly. And
benefits.
I don't think that we hear a whole lot about the fact that our older adults do use SNAP. And
Mm,
they estimate that there are probably a lot more older adults that are eligible for SNAP but feel
mm,
like they're
mm,
not.
mm.
So I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. So
Thank
you deliver in Providence,
you.
Central Falls, Pawtucket, CF. Do you have plans to expand?
At this point, we're trying not to overextend our delivery capacity. So we are saying really right around the Providence area. But yeah, a few months from now, who knows what will happen.
So I totally get what it means to be somebody with a vision. What made you start Cartwheel? What was your impetus? What was the tipping point?
So we're a pretty recent nonprofit. We started in March, pretty much as a COVID response. We were a bunch of friends living together who said, we have access to farm fresh delivery. We have access to this local produce because we can buy in large enough quantities. But we know that there are so many people who are living alone, and because of COVID, won't be able to go to the grocery store either for financial reasons, having lost work due to COVID, or for safety reasons. So we knew that there were going to be so many people who would love that access to local produce, would love that access to the dry goods we offer at wholesale prices, but wouldn't have a way to go to the grocery store or go to the farmers market to make that happen. So yeah, we started in March. We got our 501c3, our official federal tax exempt status over the summer, and yeah, it
That's
continued.
awesome. So
Yeah.
if are your drivers, are they paid employees or are they volunteers?
Yeah, so they're paid. Everybody who works with Cartwheel is paid $15 an hour, and then we reimburse for mileage too.
And so if people wanted to help out in their community, are you hiring? Are you
I
trying
think
to do controlled growth right now?
at this point it is more of a controlled growth situation where we have a pool of people who are excited about working with Cartwheel, and and people work as much as we have space for, but it's growing. So the other part that I wanted to mention is the way that subsidized orders work, because
Yep.
um, we have people. It's all on a donation only basis. So we have people put in what their order is going to be. And then some people are able to cover the cost of their order and then donate more to help us provide for other people, or other people will say, that's more than I have in my budget for this week. And we still deliver to them, but then we draw on other funding sources to make that possible. So it's on a donation only basis.
Wow.
Yeah.
So on a donation only basis, so you're not going to turn away anybody who needs their food delivered.
Right. How we try to do it is as long as we receive the order, we try to deliver it. And then every once in a while, the farm doesn't have, carrots, for instance, or the farm might not have, a specific thing that we've ordered, and then that won't come in. But otherwise, we try to fill the orders as they come in.
And that's good. So when, I don't know, say for instance, I'm ordering broccoli and broccoli is sold out. Do you make the choice to substitute and say, here's some corn instead? Or do you contact the person? Or I've heard of some very interesting substitutes with other organizations.
So due to that question, we ourselves don't substitute. We say, oh, it looks like broccoli wasn't theirs. And if we've received a contribution, then we send a refund.
Okay. Is there a limit to how often somebody can use your services in a week or in a month or in a certain period of time? Or could they have you do weekly grocery shopping?
They could certainly have us do weekly grocery shopping. It's a weekly ordering cycle that we have. So people submit their order by Sunday night at 9 p.m. and then we deliver the following Thursday. We usually deliver between 4:30 and 6. But it's one order cycle per week.
Okay, so in between 4:30 and 6, that's good for folks who, maybe they want to wait until there's somebody else in the house with them, or maybe they're getting home from work.
Sure.
That's amazing. Are you able to deliver for households that may be under isolation or quarantine? Or do you kind of hold off on that?
No, we do. So our system is designed to be a contactless delivery. So we, no matter who it is, either if they're quarantined or whatever the case might be, we drive up, we leave the box on the front step, and then we either call or ring the doorbell depending on what people have typed in as their preference. But then we don't have the face-to-face interaction. That's
good. That sounds safe.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds much safer than some of the alternatives. Right, so you operate on a donation basis. You are a nonprofit. How are you able to subsidize the difference? Because if you're paying people, how are you getting funding? Are people able to just make donations to support their neighbors being able to get food delivered? How does that work for you?
So we certainly do accept private donations. There's a place on our website where people can go in and put in credit card information or PayPal. But how the financial system works is that folks who are able to pay more than the cost of their order and make a larger donation with their order, that money goes to subsidize the labor for other people's order. But then the food itself is usually subsidized by grants that we've applied for.
Okay, so you can get the food at a reduced cost, but obviously, you need bodies out there to do the shopping and the packing and the driving and the delivering and all of that. Right. So if people wanted to make a donation, I know in particular, we're going to have the holidays coming up. They're literally right around the corner, according to Amazon days. Christmas is like next week. But if people wanted to donate as a way of supporting their community, how do they donate to you?
So if you just go on our website and then there's a link that says contribute. Simple enough. And then all the links for credit, debit, all the options that one might want are there. Okay, that's great. And you will accept orders from anybody. You don't have to be a certain age. You don't have to use SNAP. You don't right now. It is located really in the Providence metro area. Right. For right now. Right. For right now. Yeah. So the two limitations that we have are really that geographic limitation and then the limitation that we don't have a large call center staff. So we're not taking orders over the phone. But that being said, we have many people who are elders who are coordinating with a child who lives out of state or coordinating with another helper who's able to put that order in if they're not themselves able to use the internet. And that you bring up actually a really good point that I haven't really talked about in other Friday Friends is a great opportunity because we are on the World Wide Web. This could be viewed anywhere in the world, literally. Right. So that if the adult children or a family member is concerned about whether or not,
their loved one is getting a nutritious meal, this is an opportunity for them to go on Cartwheel and put in their order, pay for it, and then the food just kind of magically
shows
appears
up
at their
next
door,
Thursday. Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And then it also, by doing it that way, you're gifting that food to your loved one, and it allows them the dignity and respect to not have to ask for help. Because if we wait for people to ask for help, sometimes for our older adults, they won't ask for help.
Right.
And that's not, well, let me rephrase that. For many of us, regardless of our age, we are loath to ask for help, you know? And so even if you know, say, for example, a family in your community that is struggling, and, you know, these days there's a lot of folks who are out of work, you know, I think using Cartwheel might be a great way to quietly go online and just have the food appear at their door.
Right.
And that way they won't know that their neighbors maybe are aware that they're struggling.
Right.
And it
We've
can
really
be,
had orders like that, where people are putting in the delivery information for somebody else, and then there it goes. Yep.
Yeah. I see a lot of opportunity for the collective we to do great things for our fellow human beings out there.
Right.
So I really think what you're doing is really cool.
Thank you. And that collective we, that's really, that's the whole point of this Cartwheel program, where we're saying, how can we make this community? How can we take care of each other with the order subsidizations, with the matching grant through Farm Fresh, the bonus bucks. We're saying, how can we build something where we're really caring for each other?
And that's
that.
That's what our Elder Info is all about. Is, you know, we are all in this together, and we have to help each other. We have to get connected to the resources that are out there. You know, that are trying to help each other, because we're all in this together. We got to help each other out. So I'm really great. So I just want to recap real quick. The deliveries in the Providence metro area, people can go on CartwheelRI.org and make a donation towards other people's deliveries. They can go online, order for themselves, of course.
Right.
You
the
take the SNAP benefits.
We have ourselves, the better.
Yep.
The better we are to provide for other people. So yeah, and then
excellent.
The SNAP benefits. Yeah.
Yep, they can do the SNAP benefits, which is huge, 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 huge. And then people can just make straight donations for the greater good of their community. Right. Did I miss anything?
That's perfect. Yeah.
Oh, Evan, I'm so glad that I was able to have you on as a Friday friend. This has been great.
Thank you so much for having us. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. This is great. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. As you see, like, that's a really cool program. And the fact that they can get you groceries, even with the SNAP benefits, I know that that's been a challenge for many of our older adults to get the proper food that they need. Proper food, proper nutrition is really important, particularly keep away the colds, the flus, and you know, that other virus that's going around that we've heard a bit about. But I look forward to seeing you all next week. I hope that you have hit the share button and the follow button and the like button. And if you have any other questions, any concerns, any more information that you might need, you can always go on rielderinfo.com to get more information. I encourage you to sign up for our newsletter. I send it out once a week. I promise I don't spam people because that's just yucky. I don't sell lists of names to anybody because that's yucky too. But I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.